Hello, welcome to Business Notes. I'm your host, Diane Bogino. Our guest today is Simon T. Bailey. Simon T. Bailey is the founder of Brillance Institute and the best-selling author of Release Your Brilliance, published by HarperCollins. According to 800 CEO Read, Release Your Brilliance is ranked number 17 of the top 100 books being read by corporate America. In July of 2010, meeting professionals voted Simon as one of the best keynote speakers ever heard or used and placed him in the same category as Bill Gates, Tony Robbins, and Colin Powell. Who are those people? As a thought leader for Fortune 1000 companies such as Dell, Microsoft, Procter & Gamble, and Executive Women, Simon delivers a personal tool chest of actionable strategies to maneuver the business marketplace, if I could talk today, and inspire people to grow personally and professionally. The results of Simon's work is simple. People either fire themselves or get fired up with sound strategy. Buckle up and let's meet our guest today, Simon T. Bailey. Simon, thank you for being with us today. Now, what should small businesses do today to stay relevant in such a global economy as we have?
Yeah, small businesses should right now, number one, shop their business. In other words, live their business through the eyes of their customer. So literally buy their product, call in, go in, experience it, because there are touch points in every experience, and as you evaluate each touch point, you might see an opportunity to improve. So that's number one. Number two, reevaluate your team. Who are the A-level players, B-level players, and C-level players? Your A-level players, they have the initiative, but you have to think about retention because the grass is always greener on the other side. And one thing that you can do is begin to engage the spouse. Take care of the spouse. Send the spouse flowers. If it's a male, send tickets to a game, but engage the spouse, because when that high performer may think about leaving, the spouse will ask the question, are they going to treat you as good as the current company? Because the spouse is speaking from personal experience.
Wow, great idea. So, will you just answer this question? What other reasons should a company shop their own company?
Yeah, the reason they should shop them, because there are always blind spots. There are things that you don't know that exist. One of the things when I used to work at Disney, they had this whole thing about understanding the emotional deposits of the experience. And so when a person calls and says, hi, how are you? They'll say, thank you, and have a magical day. That little magical day is that emotional hook, that emotional connection, and you want to make sure it's consistent all throughout the organization. So when you shop your own product, you might see you have pockets of brilliance, but then you'll discover that we don't have consistency over in this area, and you want everybody on the same page every single day.
So what can small businesses do to be innovative?
Well, first of all, they have to look at what they do and ask three questions. What if? Why are we doing this? Is there a better way? Any breakthrough innovation always starts with questions. So when you consider Apple, who everyone talks about, Apple took the iPod, which if we think about years ago was the Sony Walkman, and they asked the question, what if? How can we make it better? So if you want to think about innovation at a small business level, how can we make something better? Or how can we add a little twist? When you think about eBay, who's been out for a number of years, all of a sudden you have a Groupon who says, how do we create a breakthrough strategy? So they took the whole eBay, being able to go and shop and buy things, and say, wait a minute, what if we give people daily deals? So they took a little twist by saying, is there a better way? What if? Why are we doing this? That's where innovation starts.
How can a small business person be a game changer within their own industry?
Well, in any industry, you have to think about who are the top 20% in that industry. They are the people that are shaping the conversation. So you have to think about, how do I build a relationship with the top 20% who's shaping where the industry is going? And how do I begin to learn right now where they are, where they're going, what they're doing? Right now, one of the things you have to think about is there's a whole talk about the BRIC nations, Brazil, Russia, India, and China, and Africa. All of the economists and VC companies are saying these emerging countries is where the action is going to be. In fact, the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, has just come out and said that China will be a superpower by 2016. Originally, it was supposed to be 2020. Now, why is that important? That's within the next 5 years. So organizations have to say, if we're going to be a game changer, who in our field is already thinking globally but acting locally? And how do we get connected on where the conversation is going instead of being on the receiving end of change and being shaped by the conversation? So who's the top 20%? Then the other question you have to ask is, what in my field can I do that will be a point of differentiation? Because in the future, you will be paid for the problems you solve and the solutions you find, not just the product or service you offer. So what's that little twist that you can bring to the marketplace that people are like, whoa, that's different?
And you help companies do that, I assume.
I do. Yeah, and it's a fun thing.
Yes. You go through workshops, seminars.
Yeah, so I do it through my consulting company, the Brillance Institute. So we'll walk into an organization and help them from a customer service standpoint as well as a leadership standpoint, because I really believe after 20 years of being in the hospitality industry and 7 of those years working for the 7th most recognized brand in the world, the Disney company, I really can walk in and say, here are some things to think about as it relates to releasing Brillance organizationally.
What has been the secret to your brilliant success?
I think not being afraid to fail. So many entrepreneurs are afraid to fail, and one of the things I'm encouraging people to do is to fail faster. And when you fail faster, you step back and say, what did I learn? How did I grow? And then also, I think the other secret to our success is releasing the need to be right. When you release the need to be right, you open yourself up to a bigger conversation.
Tell me, what are the 3 most important things you did learn while you were working in middle management at Disney?
Wow. Number 1, hire for attitude, train for success. Training does not fix what human resources doesn't catch. That's number 1. Absolutely important. Number 2, always plus up the experience. So let me tell you a quick little story. In the movie Lion King, when it first came out, that was hand-drawn by animators, the whole movie. And there was a scene at the beginning of the movie when Simba is kind of held up and Simba sneezes. And Michael Eisner had a philosophy that 99% of the viewing public wouldn't even notice the sneeze. But it's the 1% who would say Disney plussed it up. They went the extra step because it took hundreds of hours to draw in that extra scene of him sneezing. So you think about in your business, what can you do to plus it up? And then the third thing is, go into an industry and be a game changer. Don't settle for status quo. So when Disney entered into the cruise line business, they literally raised the bar for the entire cruise industry. They didn't lower their prices. They said, we're going to do what we do really well on land, we're going to do it on water, and we're going to kick it up a notch, to borrow a line from Emerald, and we're going to make it a first-class experience. So don't go cheap. Cheap is the arch enemy of brilliance. Make the investment because it pays off long term.
I know that you're a man of faith, and where does faith fit into business?
Wow. You know what? Without God, I would be nothing. Without God, I would fail. Without God, I would be like a ship without a sail. And so faith is the foundation of everything that we do. And I think it's probably the greatest time for those who are entrepreneurs to say, how do I take what I believe into the marketplace and, number 1, generate results, but number 2, make a difference for the kingdom of God.
Simon, thank you so much for being with us today and taking time out of your busy schedule.
Thank you so much. Good to be with you, Diane.
Thank you. We've been talking with Simon T. Bailey, keynote speaker, author, and thought leader. Thank you for joining us on Business Notes. I'm your host, Diane Bogino, bringing you business ideas you can bank on.